Most people think they can't pick a niche because they don't have enough ideas. But the truth is, you usually have too many. And when you're juggling all of them in your head, you're not confused, you're overwhelmed. If you've been stuck choosing a niche for months or even years, this video will help you understand why that happens and what you can start doing today to finally move forward with clarity. Let's start with something most people never say out loud. The difficulty isn't that you can't pick a niche, it's that choosing one feels risky. There's that quiet fear of spending time on the wrong thing, of starting something and later abandoning it. Or looking back and thinking, why did I pour all the effort into a niche that wasn't even right for me? And I know exactly how this feels because I spent 5 years trying different niches and different ideas. And none of them worked. Not because I wasn't trying, I was. I kept switching directions, chasing the perfect niche, starting something, then restarting again the moment it felt unclear. I was taking action, but it was the wrong kind of action. I wasn't building clarity. I was stuck in a loop. And it took me years to realize the problem wasn't the niche. It was the way I was choosing one. So instead of choosing, you stay in thinking mode. You start researching, comparing, watching a few videos, reading more blog posts, and before you know it, you're circling the same ideas over and over again. It feels like you're doing something important, but nothing actually changes. You stay in the same loop, busy but not moving. It's like rearranging your desk instead of doing the work. It feels like progress, but it's not. The reason this loop feels safe is because it protects you from the emotional discomfort of choosing something. But it's also the exact thing keeping you stuck where you are. And here's something important. This doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means you've been trying to solve an emotional problem with logical tools. Let's fix that. 3 emotional blocks tend to keep people in thinking mode, which is why choosing a niche feels so difficult. None of them is about strategy. They're all about how you feel when you think about choosing. Let's go through them. First block, waiting for a perfect niche. Some people get stuck because they're waiting for the perfect niche, a niche that somehow checks every box at once. Profitable, evergreen, easy to grow, low competition, something you enjoy and something you'll never get tired of. But that kind of niche doesn't show up at the beginning. Even the niches that look perfect from the outside only look that way because someone put years of work into them. And waiting for it is like waiting for a green light at 3 a.m. when the road is empty. You could have gone hours ago. That's a bad example, don't go through red lights, but you get the idea. What you need isn't the perfect niche. You need something you're willing to explore. Second block, you ask the question, what niche instead of who do I help? Another common reason people freeze is starting with the wrong question. They immediately ask things like, what topic should I choose? Or which niche makes the most money? Or what's trending right now? But a niche doesn't start with a topic. It starts with a person. When you know who you want to help, everything gets easier. Suddenly, your ideas make more sense. Your content has more direction. And the decisions you make start to feel simpler and more grounded. Think about it. It's much easier to help one specific type of person than to talk about one big topic to everyone. Third block, comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. You look at creators who already have thousands of followers, who've been doing this for years, the ones who already figured it out. And you compare your day 1 to their year 5. Of course it feels impossible. But here's the truth. None of them started with clarity. They found it by moving, not by waiting. Clarity doesn't come before action. It comes from action. Now let's talk about what actually works. Here's a simple framework I wish I had when I started. We're going to take the pressure off and make this clear. First, start with the person you want to help. Begin with the kind of person you naturally feel drawn to. Think about the situations you understand well, the struggles you've lived through, and the people whose problems genuinely matter to you. Sometimes that's beginners, or it's people around your age. Other times, it's someone facing the same challenges you dealt with a few years back. Once you get a sense of who you want to support, the what becomes far easier to figure out. Second, pick a niche that feels calm, not perfect. There's a belief that your niche needs to feel exciting, electrifying, or inspiring, but excitement fades, clarity grows. A niche doesn't need to feel thrilling. It needs to feel clear enough that you can talk about it calmly and consistently. A niche that feels calm is a niche that lasts. You're looking for direction, not fireworks. Third, let clarity come from doing, not thinking. This is the part that changes everything. Clarity grows through action, not overthinking. You don't need a final niche today, only a small step you're willing to take next. Maybe that step is making a short video, writing something simple, talking with one person, or trying an idea just to see how it feels. Small moves like that give real feedback. They lighten the fog, help you notice what feels natural, and gradually point you toward the niche that fits you best. That's how clarity builds, through experience, one moment at a time. Before we wrap up, I want to say this clearly. If you feel stuck, there is nothing wrong with you. You're not behind or lost, and you're definitely not missing anything. You're just human, and this phase is completely normal. And clarity always comes to people who stay patient, keep taking small steps, and give themselves permission to learn along the way. You are doing better than you think. Now that you understand why you're stuck in picking, watch this video next to learn why picking a niche is actually the easy part.